Hello, Samuth. How are we doing? So, World Sim Series, MX5 Cup, Season 2, Race 2, for me at least. This free practice is here. I have set a free practice time. Excuse me whilst I turn my phone down a little bit into the silence. Shut up, leave me alone. Anyway, excuse the fact that I have been to the pub. So this is everybody's free practice leading up to this race, but not including the day and a half beforehand that that everybody else had. As you can see, we mean like you've got a guy here that's got 7 minutes as his time. I'm sure they will have done a better time than Alejandro Hernandez Alvarez. I think they were 20th last time we actually looked at them. Eric Edinger, 143. There's a name that might pop up. Sergio Torrent, that you will be well aware of, 140. Probably just running around doing some laps because they could do some laps. Anyway, for this race particularly, I did set a time for 2 minutes 21 seconds just because I was setting a time. I was just driving around. Guys who we saw in the last race, Tyler Huang and David Green, we saw them both in the last race. I don't know if we saw any of the others in the last race. Apologies, I have been to the pub. Eric Edinger, I believe Edinger, maybe. I think this is the first race that he came in on. Anyway, qualifying. Eric Edinger qualified first. Tyler Huang, 141.5. I believe he was actually faster in terms of qualifying in the previous race. We were around about the same quality time, 0.3 of a second afterwards, so 0.5 off of pole sitter. Paul Ash, I don't remember if he did anything particularly strong. He may well have done. David Green, who did strongly before, you will have presumably just watched the video, clearly didn't have a clean lap, despite having 0 incidents. I had 1 incident. I do believe that I had a relatively clean qualifying, but I don't believe that I was overly comfortable with what I'd had. Anyway, but looking at the pace of qualifying, I was content to consider this to be a fairly sure podium. Anyway, you're about to find out what happened in the race. I've got a bit of anxiety. Sorry. Go on, pal. Go on. Fucking hell. Hell. I think my steering might be a bit knackered. Plus I'm feeling terribly guilty about crashing into that geezer on coming out of T1. Concentrate on the race. Apologise after the race is finished. So my express apologies to Eric. I did apologise to him after the race. You can see that I checked in the rear view mirror, but I didn't check in the side view mirror. In fairness, and I do not say this as a defence or an excuse, I think had I even looked in the side view mirror, I probably wouldn't have even seen him then. I needed to look over my shoulder rather than trust the mirrors. And that is something that is, you know, it's a sign, and it is a purpose of experience to know. I'm not going to make that kind of mistake again, or at least not readily. And I'm going to remember that particular mistake. The reason why I'm going to remember it more than anything else is because at the start of the race, he was saying, we were talking in chat, and we were like saying, "Oh, no pressure," and not like I'm at the front of the race. I'm going to wipe myself out at the front, the first corner, something like that. And then Tyler said, "Oh yeah, I span it after T1," and then I was like, "Yeah," and I crashed into you, and then I crashed into the fucker. Oh my fuck me. So, for my own humility, I would much prefer that I'd never crashed into the guy and that he'd just beaten me. Anyway, I spent the first chunk of the race very specifically and purposefully riding and driving behind him because I felt horribly guilty about the fact that I just wiped out this guy who was, relatively speaking, a newcomer, as I was a newcomer, but he was a newcomer. I didn't want to feel like he was at all bullied, and that was suppressing the racer in me. Anyway, two other incidents. So one of racing mistake, two of driving mistakes. It says incidents. 4, I'm not entirely sure where the fourth incident was. I don't remember seeing that one. Possibly it was obvious. I've been drinking, I've been at the pub. Anyway, fastest lap of 141.6. I'm pretty sure I broke something on the car when I smashed into Eric. I found it very difficult to keep the car on the track. And while pizza. Let he who is without pizza eat the first slice. Right. So while forgotten what I was saying. While 141 is sort of fast for what I should expect I should be able to do, not fast, is sort of strong pace for what I should expect that I should be able to do. It's, it's 0.6, and that was the fastest lap I did. I could be doing better than 141.6. So I think something broke on the car. Trying to keep it in on the flying corners, even after Eric span and I was liberated from that prison, I still found it very difficult to keep the car on the road. So I came 7th. It did earn me 2 points, but that's not many points. But outright as we are, 4th right and 4th onwards. I will take that mistake into the future. I'm very sorry, Eric. And it created for me a knowledge and an awareness of my own hubris, my own ability to make mistakes without even realizing that I would be able to make them. Anyway, race didn't go as I'd planned or as I'd wanted, but it did go. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Take care of yourselves. See you in a bit.